Okay, it is 1:30, so let's get started. Thanks for coming to the JBrowse 2 session. Nope. JBrowse 2 session. That happens to me on a fairly regular basis, and it's entirely my fault. Okay, welcome to the JBrowse 2 session. I'm Scott Kane. I'm the GMOD, the Generic Model Organism Database Project Coordinator. I do a lot of outreach for JBrowse and other GMOD projects. So we're going to have a few talks by people who are associated with the project. First will be Rob Buels. He's kind of like the technical lead. And then we'll have Colin Daesh, who is the lead programmer for JBrowse. And then we'll also have one from Caroline Bridge, who has done a lot of plugin work. So she's going to talk about those things. And then after all of that is over with, I will lead a hands-on tutorial. And hopefully most of you at least have usernames and passwords. You can use your own computer or one of these here. Oh, terrific. Great. Thank you, Garrett. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Rob Buels, JBrowse technical lead, and he'll take it away.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? All right, thank you all for coming. Glad to see so many people here. Okay, how do I advance the slides? There we go. Okay. So why did we do JBrowse 2? Because we had this genome browser that was going pretty well. It was called JBrowse. And, well, we needed to do more things. We needed to show long-range interactions. We wanted to show structural rearrangements. Wanted more views like a circular view, wanted to be able to zoom out to show larger genome overviews. And JBrowse 1 just was not engineered for that. You know, it was just a simple genome browser at its heart. So back in 2018, we made the decision to start more or less from scratch and start building JBrowse 2. So the vision when we start off on JBrowse 2 was to show many different views, but also to be able to show different assemblies and organisms and different regions on the same screen and be able to integrate them and yeah, just be able to integrate them on the same screen. And offer even more configurability was a big thing. One thing we noticed was that one of the most popular things about JBrowse 1 was the nearly infinite configurability and pluggability. So we thought we would do that, but even more, and also make it easier to set up with graphical configuration. And we wanted to do even more pluggability. So JBrowse 2 is even more extensible than JBrowse 1 was. Carolyn's going to be talking all about plugins later in the session. And we also wanted to be able to have our plugins run in different contexts so we can reuse the code that we worked hard on across more different things than just the web. So JBrowse 2 isn't actually one product. It's sort of an ecosystem of different products that all share a lot of the same code. Most of the code is actually in plugins. That's where the views and data adapters and things that JBrowse 2 have are implemented. And those plugins are then built into a few different products that we provide, which is a web version of JBrowse 2. There's also a desktop version of JBrowse 2 that you can just look at local files with, similar to IGV. And we also have a couple of different embedded JBrowse 2 views that people can embed in their own applications because we saw that there was a lot of demand for embedding. And there are a few external integrations that have happened with other data platforms. We've got a Jupyter integration. There was another integration that we developed for R and R-Shiny apps. And very soon, a new triple integration of JBrowse 2 is going to be coming out. Just saw a talk on that yesterday. Super cool. And of course, there's a new version of Apollo coming that I'm going to talk about a little bit. So yeah, the three main products that we have: JBrowse Web, a big browser, you know, that has all the different plugins and a lot of different views, and you can see a lot of things at the same time. JBrowse Desktop, which is more or less the same thing, but on the desktop as a desktop application, and JBrowse Embedded for using in your own apps. JBrowse Web and JBrowse Desktop, they look more or less like this. The main paradigm is there's a menu bar on the top and a drawer for details on the right, and then a stack of different views of data on the left. I think you can actually have the drawer on the left now too. So the drawer isn't always on the right. JBrowse plugins, yeah, most of the code is implemented in plugins. All the views and data adapters and track types and everything, those are all plugins that happen to just be core plugins. You know, they come with the app. But it's plugins all the way down with the JBrowse ecosystem. And we have a plugin store that lets you install plugins with a single click. You can actually even install plugins in an instance of JBrowse that isn't yours. And those plugins are only visible to you. It's a little strange, but it gives interesting possibilities. Yeah, the integrations, couple of great integrations developed by JBrowse team members. Teresa Martinez developed our JBrowse Jupyter integration, so you can use JBrowse embedded in Jupyter notebooks, and Elliot Hirschberg developed our JBrowse R integration. And as I said before, there's a triple integration coming soon. I hope the triple people don't mind me saying that. I just thought it was really cool when I heard about it yesterday, so I put it in the talk. Yeah, one of the big things that we do with JBrowse is we try to make the easy things easy and the hard things possible. How easy the easy things really are is debatable, but you can definitely do anything you might want, and we're here to help you make that happen. I'm not going to go through all the different ways you can customize it. We can talk about that more later. So, in summary, JBrowse 2, brand new design, implemented with modern technologies, et cetera, et cetera. You can run it on the web, you can run it on the desktop, you can run it embedded in your own app, and you can integrate multiple visualizations, and it's just more of everything and more of stuff that wasn't there before. So it's more. Now, Apollo 3. Apollo 3 is coming. The next generation of Apollo. It's going to run on JBrowse 2. You're going to be able to edit annotations in the context of other genomes in comparative vicinity views. It's going to be very customizable as far as your quality control policies as well, because we noticed there was a great need for different organizations to be able to set different policies about how they want their data managed. So that's going to be pluggable in the new Apollo. And you can use different ontologies, and it'll run in desktop or on the web, and you can edit local files with it. That's about all I'm going to say about Apollo 3 right now. It's still very new. And yep, thanks to all the team. A lot of the team is here today. I'm Rob, the coordinator, architect. Colin Deesh, he's the core lead. And Garrett Stevens is heading up the Apollo development. And all three of us are here. And thank you all for your attention. I can take any questions.
You have time for a few questions for Rob if you want to do that. Anybody?
Should we save questions about features so after the next section?
Well, yeah, Colin is going to be talking about features. That's fair.
But if you ask a question about a feature, Colin can make sure to
That he mentions it. That's right.
mention it.
I love JBrowse so much that I'm still clutching to two features in particular that JBrowse 1 has that, at least as of last year, I don't recall seeing implemented in JBrowse 2.
All right,
I
let's
don't
hear
know if
it.
that's the right
Let's
time
hear
to
it.
ask for that.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
We love user feedback.
Very attached to the metadata tree table that JBrowse 1 can pull up.
Oh yeah, the facet browser. Yeah.
Allows people to go on a much more large scale as far as number of tracks.
Yeah.
To quickly organize, sort, search. I don't recall seeing that feature in JBrowse 2 or in the JBrowse 2 documentation. So the question is,
think I recall seeing a few commits of Colin poking at that though.
So someday, so it's something that may exist someday.
Yeah, I made a work in progress.
Okay.
For that.
It's coming.
Okay, what was the other feature?
Oh, you're gonna hate this one.
No, I'm not.
The ability to share JBrowse views via editable URLs that then can be modified as they exist, like the URL modified to add or remove tracks, change or remove coordinates.
I will cover that a little bit.
We have some URL support for editable URLs. It's a little harder with JBrowse too because it's a lot more complicated. It's actually possible to stuff an entire session JSON tree into a URL.
You just start running into limits for what a browser support for how long a URL can be, right?
Yeah, JBrowse actually supports doing that. If you're insane, you can do that.
But this is also a simple.
There are also simpler ways. Yeah, Colin's gonna cover that.
All right.
Anything
Any
else?
other questions? If not, then we can let Colin start covering that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Rob.